What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to a brand new episode of Maximus the Fourth. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing JJ's Bakery Peach Pie. Now, this time, I think I'm only going to ingest just 1/4 of this pie. And the reason why is because I'm going to open up to you guys today. I actually have Tourette's, or Tourette syndrome. And for those of you that don't know what that is, let me explain to you. So, to start out by explaining to you what Tourette's is basically, here's the thing. Everybody, I mean everybody, what they have in their body are electrical signals in their brain. And before you make a movement, rather it's moving your finger, your arm, your leg, opening up your mouth, blinking your eye, raising your eyebrows, it doesn't matter. Any movement at all. Everyone has electrical signals in their brain that shoots and fires to that body part that tells you when to move that body part. Well, when you have Tourette syndrome, what you have is hyperactive electrical brain firing signals. So they're firing all the time in various amounts of places in my body. And they're always constantly hyperactive. And so that's where the tics come from. If you guys noticed in some different videos when I've twitched my neck like that, it's because I have Tourette's. And so, as a guy that has Tourette's, you just have to learn to roll with it, and you can definitely control the tics. That's what those are called. The movements that aren't normal and are hyperactive, they're called tics. It's not just a muscle thing, it can also be a voice thing. And whenever someone has Tourette's, the first thing people think of, they're like, oh my gosh, so do you cuss? Well, sometimes, but Tourette's is a lot more than just cussing. When you have Tourette's, a lot of times it comes with OCD, which stands for Obsessive Compulsive Disorder, and it can come with, it's basically linked, and it's on the autism spectrum. And another thing that is connected to the autism spectrum is ADHD. OCD, ODD. And so I don't have autism directly. I'm not autistic, but I'm on the autism spectrum. And that's where the Tourette's comes from. And so, but I am high functioning. It doesn't mean that I can't do things normally that other people could. There's people out there that have Tourette's or OCD or ADHD, and that are autistic that can't even function. Those are the basically mentally retarded people that very unfortunately can't really function without assistance. I'm not like that at all. But yeah, I just figured I'd open up with you guys on that, and let's try ourselves some JJ's Bakery Peach Pie. To finish the statement about the Tourette's, usually around 4 or 5 years old is when Tourette's shows up, and it usually starts right in the eyes with a tic like this. You just blink your eyes like this. And so if you ever see anybody in public, randomly, a stranger, and you look into their eyes and you notice that they're twitching like this, it means that they probably have Tourette's. And that was actually the very first tic that I had that my mom discovered when I was 4 or 5 years old. Same thing with my twin brother, Parker Goodwin. But it could be anything, like even sticking out your tongue like that string. See that? That basically keeps your tongue from being able to move all over the place. I've had a tic before in the past to where I'll stick out my tongue and I'll basically rub that string on my 2 bottom teeth, which is very painful if you do it too much, and I've done it before, but thankfully I don't have that anymore. Or like a really weird one is my molars in my upper part of my teeth. I'll like slam my gums up against that molar, which is also very painful. And thankfully, I haven't been doing that. But yeah, Tourette's, I mean, it's not an easy thing to live with, but I just roll with it. And what I can tell you guys is having Tourette's, it actually does help me as far as my work ethic goes. Like somebody that has Tourette's or OCD, if they have a little bit of it, it can do the complete opposite. Like it can make somebody very powerful. But anyways, enough of that. I hope that helps you guys out a little bit. So let's try this JJ's Bakery peach pie. Okay, well, so on this one, it doesn't look like there's very much glaze on there at all. Only on the side. And I don't know if that... No, it's not because it's been sitting in here for a while. It's just the way this one is. So I'm just gonna eat a quarter of this one. And that's all I'm gonna do. Because the sugar and both gluten, if I cut it out in my diet, it can actually help my tics immensely, and that's no joke. So I'll just eat a quarter of this pie today and let you guys know what I think. See the peach filling? It's not bad. Not bad at all. I feel like the top is very moist. See, that was a tick right there. My neck. I can control them if I focus hard enough, but it's very hard. So anyways, as you're biting into this thing, it's very moist and is very soft. I think them doing away with the vast majority of the glaze on this one was an appropriate decision because it's a lot more fitting with the moistness of this pie. Now, when you bite into this, the filling of the peach that's inside here, it actually has a sensation that's almost like biting into Jello. You're going to bite into a very firm, fine, consistent filling into that peach filling. And it's not near as hard as Jello, but it's interesting because it has a Jello-like sensation to it as far as the texture goes, but it's a little bit softer. I would say probably 2 or 3 notches softer than Jello. And if you're saying Jello is 100% texture, because it is, however you want to word it, just imagine 2 or 3 steps being like, I don't know, 10, 15 points below 100% of what the Jello sensation's like. But overall, the flavor's good in this pie. I don't feel like I got ripped off at all with this one. I feel like they did a decent job with the filling. And I do feel like they probably could have put a little bit more filling in this pie. But it's still good enough. I mean, if I had a cup of coffee, I'm sure I would enjoy this thing very thoroughly. So, with that said, I'm going to give JJ's Bakery peach pie flavor a very solid 7.5 out of 10. And if you guys can ever find this, pick it up and give it a shot. And for those of you that want to see this channel grow, if you can, because YouTube is just so wonderful with always recommending my videos all over the platform in the face of YouTube, I always go home with a staggering audience by the millions of views. Yeah. Or just 1 or 200. Sometimes 5, 6, 7, 800. or in the thousands if I'm lucky. Anyways, guys, Maximus the Fourth here. That was JJ's Bakery Peach Pie review. Signing out. I will see you next time. Later.